I believe that the liturgical music of the Catholic Church is effective in its goals to be beautiful, reflective, and encouraging of participation. The degree to which specific sounds and types of liturgical music are effective varies, but like other forms of art, liturgical music should be allowed to exist in the lane it creates for itself, rather than be a fulfillment of some blanket definition of what church music is. Catholic liturgical music has undergone many changes in style and emphasis over hundreds of years. Liturgical music was initially about expressing the Word of God in the most beautiful and reverent ways possible. This beauty and reverence required a knowledge of Latin and a level of musical prowess that rendered a majority of worshipers unable to participate in celebration through song. Groups broke from the church in opposition to this, and the evident importance of participation in liturgical music was finally upheld by the Catholic Church during the Second Vatican Council. Modern liturgical music is a response to the Vatican's decision to open masses to the vernacular, and we hear music in church today that reflects our common ability to understand it. I feel that this progression is the best thing that could have happened to the Catholic Church, and it's my opinion that the Second Vatican Council added this angle for participation without sacrificing the beauty of the music. Composers and performers of Mass music throughout the ages would likely be at odds with my position if they were able to attend Mass today. Genres, languages, and styles differ according to location and culture. On the surface, this would likely appear as a loss of direction and a muddying of the beauty encapsulated in masses composed prior to the 20th century, but even polyphonic liturgical music would not have developed if no one allowed composers to build on their predecessors and evolve from basic homophonic plain chant. The aversion to certain new styles of music in Mass, adoption of what's trending in pop music, or attribution of church teaching to niche genres such as rap or folk, for example, are analogous to the opposition that groundbreaking composers experienced in the past. This old-fashioned opinion that liturgical music can be too secular, or that an adaptation of a certain quality can sour the music's veneration of God, seems to always slowly fall from prevalence over time as congregations find transcendence in these unorthodox compositions. My field study visits to different masses are the reason why this is true for me. From grand structures to tiny spaces barely larger than a chapel, and from the most skilled choirs to small groups of 2 or 3, the goal above all else was to carry out a Mass fit for an adored and feared God. The Church of St. Ignatius Loyola did this differently than the Church of St. Francis. Which did this differently from Corpus Christi, and so on. Contrary to my initial beliefs, I don't have a real preference as to which is the most correct or which one I favor above the others, because the purpose of the liturgical music anywhere lies in its sincerity. Sometimes I was more inclined to sing along with the congregation, other times I held my head in reflective silence. At other times I was actively participative, while others were more internal in theirs. In my opinion, the beauty of liturgical music lies in its intention rather than in its sound. If every composer of a Mass was to meet to compare the centuries' worth of Masses we consider as timeless today, they wouldn't be in total agreement over which composition was the most beautiful or which composer's style was the best suited for Catholic Mass music. To me, the layperson's ability to join in liturgical song is more significant than this sort of beauty. Music of Mass should be created with the goal of pleasing God rather than adhering to some elitist notion that only a particular praise will please God.